Next, we're going to split these wing saddles. We're going to glue in the front spars. Just take each one of the wing saddles, and remember they're marked left and right, that's important, and just take a knife, and all you got to simply do is just put in there, and then this doesn't have to be accurate, just kind of split it down the middle. What you want to do is cut them in half, obviously, real simple. So what we're going to do, and we're going to use the bottom half, okay? And that's why I got them marked up, because the bottom half is machined. Both halves of the bottom are machined exactly the same, and we're going to be building in the bottom halves. So now, to install the front spars, we need to prep the cores again. It's easy just to draw a center line down the root cord, mark back 1 1/4 inch. This is where the line for the front spar is going to start. On the tip, mark back 1 1/2. Then go ahead and mark back 3 3/4 here, because later on this is going to be where we're going to draw the line for the rear spar. Now to put the front spar in, we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do each wing half. We're going to do put the front spars in only. Okay, then we glue it all together and put the rear spars and the main spar in later. Right now all we're doing is putting in the front spar. Okay, so anyway, we've got our lines there we marked there for 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. Now just mark a line between those 2 points. Okay, I just used a straight edge, and a longer straight edge than this one obviously, and drew a line with the pencils real light, or you could put a piece of tape there and use a fine line Sharpie, either way. The front spars are already cut, they're 18 inches long, so you can just use the spar as a reference guide. Just go down here and mark out 18 inches, and not a bad idea to go just a little bit past it. So we've got a line for the front spar, and it's marked off 18 inches. Now, on the knife, you're going to need a sharp knife again. I get these knives from Harbor Freight because I can get the blades are real cheap. You know, pack them's like 99 cents for a bunch of them, and they dull so quick, but you know, they're so cheap and they work great. Plus they set the depth just fine. To set this depth on the front spar, we're going to take this here, and with the knife sitting there with the tip just barely sticking out, we're going to go up 1 click. That'll set that depth for that front spar. And then very simply, put your straight edge along that line you just made. And what we're going to do is, I'm sorry, I'm going to take 2 clicks. 2 clicks. There we go. Now we're going to test fit the spar. Make sure that it fits down in there properly. Okay, now you got an option here on gluing this in. Okay, I'm going to glue this whole wing is going to be built with cyanoacrylic glue, CA glue. About the only places we're going to use something different is when we mount the firewall. That'll use 5-minute epoxy and a little bit of Gorilla Glue inside there, and the winglets will probably be glued on with goop or something like that. On this spar here, you got 2 ways of doing this. This particular one here, we're going to be using thick CA to put the spar in, or you can put the spar in all the way in there and go over the top of it with some thin CA. Okay, both ways work just fine. I just happen to have some thick CA here, so we're going to use this method. Now this spar is going to come up flush with the root, okay, because the centerpiece is going to glue onto that, and it's just going to go flush with the root. But we got our spar. Looks like our spar fits in pretty well right there. Okay, and it's just below the surface. Okay, that's where you want it, just below the surface. I'm going to go ahead and take the spar out of there. And using our thick CA, we're going to go in there and we're going to run a bead. And make sure it's a good bead of glue. And then you don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it either. Okay, any place you might have missed, like right there in this little bit. Grab us a paper towel. Now, that glue will kind of act like a lubricant. So I'm going to start at the front so we got this thing flush, or as close to flush as we can get it. It's got to be flush. The glue will act like a lubricant pushing in. It'll go in. You need to use your fingers and a small screwdriver, whatever helps it sit flush, and just push that down in there flush with the bottom there, and it should be just under the surface. With 2 clicks going on that straight edge, that particular one, it puts it like that. Now, what we do is we want to weight this. Now, where my weights go? It doesn't take long. We just want to weight it in the cores, and we want to give that a few minutes to dry. The whole idea behind this is we've got the spar in there, the cores are machined, CNC flushed, they're flat, they're correct. Let that harden for a minute, and then we're going to take this same core and using the bottom half of the right side, remember it's the left and right bottom, she's together. We're going to flip this thing over, mark the line, and cut and put the spar on the other side, and then when we're done, we're going to very simply do the same thing for the other wing half. So when we're done, we'll have both the wing halves with just the front spars glued in.